Curtis Inabinett Jr. is a well-known musician as well as a Ravenel Town Council member. Now, he's the author of the book, The Legendary Florida A&M Marching Band, The History of the 100. In this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with him one-on-one. Let me walk you back down memory lane to November 10th, 2016. It was the day that you actually released your book, The Legendary Florida A&M University Marching Band, The History of the 100 was released. I'm curious, Curtis, what was it like to be you that day?
Oh, I was excited. I was really excited. I was elated to finally have something released to the public after a 7-year period of working to, actually have a production complete. Just made me feel proud. It made me feel that good work, good hard work pays off in the end. But there again, even though the book is out to the public, there's another phase. You just don't stop there because of marketing and that kind of, and those kinds of things are precedents at that point. So that's where we are now. Even though the book is out, with the marketing aspect, we're looking at, well, just to give you an example, sure. 10,000 press releases went out last week.
Wow.
And another 650,000 Facebook, Twitter posts are supposed to be going out within a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And that's not even what the publishing company is obligated to do.
Okay.
They have a marketing strategy of their own that they're going to kick in within a couple of weeks. So what you're seeing now on some of the social media sites were generated by me. So I'm kind of having a little fun right now with it, and I'm real proud to have done this project.
You talk about the 7 years. What was it like to be you, doing the research, learning about FAMU, a place that you've known most of your life?
Well, let me tell you how this whole thing got started.
Okay.
Because I just didn't start out to write a book.
Right.
In 2008, I'm watching the Kennedy Center Honors Program,
right,
which was just on last night.
That's right.
So I'm watching the Kennedy Center's Honors Program, and I'm watching Morgan Freeman get honored. Something struck me, and I immediately thought of Dr. Foster, Dr. William P. Foster, the creator of the Florida A&M Band. Even though I studied under him for a couple of years, for the 2 years while I was at Florida A&M, you hear the rumors, you hear this, you hear that, you hear the organizations that he's been a part of, that he's been the first black in almost every reputable marching band or band organization in existence. So you hear these rumors, but I wanted to dig a little deeper, so I started doing some research.
Okay.
And from there, I contacted my old professor, Dr. Julian E. White, who at that point in time was chairman of the music department and director of bands. And I told him that I wanted to nominate Dr. Foster for a Kennedy Center Honors Award. And he immediately applauded me and said, go for it. My thought was that if I could get one letter first, and that letter, I targeted Congressman Clyburn.
Right.
And I got to be honest with you, he's a relative, he's a cousin.
Right.
So I figured I would get a letter from him first, and then it would be like a snowball effect.
Right.
And I could get other letters. Cuz didn't come in first, he came in second. Mayor John Marks out of Tallahassee, Florida wrote the first letter, and then cousin Jim Clyburn wrote the second, and that started the effect. So then I ended up getting letters from a whole bunch of United States Congress people, senators. I got the mayors of all of the major cities in Florida. I got Miami, Jacksonville, Orlando. I got a whole lot of letters. Then I got other letters, supporting letters, even got a letter from Willie Nelson.
Really?
Which I'll get to a little bit later and explain that. So I put this package together, and nominated Dr. Foster, I think that was for 2009. He didn't get in. Nominated him again in 2010, and was told by some insiders, because I had other connections, some insiders, that he was going to be considered for a Kennedy Center Honors Award for that particular year. But the thing is, you have to be present at the ceremony to receive the award. Dr. Foster died 1 week before the selection committee made their, finals. But that wasn't the end of the story. So I went to the wake, went to his wake. Along the way, one of the letters I received was from Dr. Thomas Duffy, who was director of bands from Yale University. And at the time, he was also president of the College Band Directors National Association, which was the only, well, their lifetime award was the only award that Dr. Foster had never received. So Dr. Duffy sent the award to me, and had me to go down to Florida A&M. Me of all people. I didn't graduate from there. I wasn't a music, I mean, while I was there, I was a music major, but I didn't graduate from there. So I had a little animosity because I was wondering how I would be received. I hadn't been connected with the university in 30 years, and here I am. I go down there, and I'm the one presenting this award, this prestigious award, to his family. So anyway, I did it, and to get to the Willie Nelson letter, Willie didn't know that Dr. Foster died, and I had been trying to get a letter from him for for 2 years. And never could get the letter. And then finally I get a call during Dr. Foster's wake saying that Willie has written a letter. Do I still want it? And I said, yeah, I want it.
Yes.
Yes, I want the letter. Knowing that it wouldn't make a difference, but I wanted that letter just because, I had tried for so long. So at that point, at his wake, that's when the decision was made to write the book, because I knew I had compiled so much, I had so much information. His son, Anthony Foster, supplied me with so much information to give to the Kennedy Center. So here I am with all of this information. I wanted to do something. At first I thought I would do a documentary, but then as I weighed things, I decided to do the book. So the collecting of the information was a 7-year period. And that's why I say 7 years. But the actual writing of the book, well, the thought process about writing the book started at his wake.
And I know that the book is a 296-page, 8x10 full-color book, which I just saw, and it's filled with facts. Can you share with me those facts, briefly?
There's there's so much to tell. There's a lot of hidden things that folks don't know. Like during the Civil Rights era, I mean, we all know that the Civil Rights movement has been in effect since the 1800s. But looking at I think this was around 1971, I believe. Florida A&M band just coming off of the glow of their 1969 Super Bowl appearance. Then you had the Grambling Band in '67, before them, '68 I believe. And then in 1971 you have, I don't want to say the name of it because I can't remember if it was Ford or Chevrolet, one of their top executives wrote Dr. Foster a letter and wanted him to act as a judge on national TV to judge the top collegiate marching band in the country. But yet, they had names like Florida State, Ohio State, and there were like 8 or 9 different bands, but yet no mention of an HBCU band. But yet they wanted him to judge the top marching band in the country, which I found to be, you know, somewhat disrespectful from my view. And then they had the audacity to offer him $100 per television appearance to judge these bands, with none of them being black. You know, no Florida A&M, no Grambling band. So that's one fact. You know. Then there's another one about a newspaper in Alabama that used the argument for keeping the races divided. They used the greatness of the Florida A&M band, saying that it would be a shame if this band was integrated with whites. So that was used as a tool to keep the races separate. There was the guy's name is William, I don't remember the first name,
okay,
but he wrote a series of articles that appeared in newspapers down in Alabama, and I think this was in the I think this was in the 60s, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hazing. FAMU self-imposed a suspension, I believe, right after the hazing death of, I forgot the guy's name, back in 2012.
Champion.
That's right. And we all are familiar with that particular story. Can you share with me how the FAMU community dealt with the suspension, but more importantly, a family member's death? Because he was family.
It was heartbreaking. It was unexpected, unexplained in a lot of ways.
Wow.
You know, as you know, hazing is something that pretty much happens in the dark. You know, hazing is not like bullying.
Right.
You know, when you're being bullied, you're trying to get away from the person that's bullying you.
Right.
When you're being hazed, you're trying to get into the organization of the people that's hazing you. So you have to, you know, I look at it like that. A person willfully goes through the hazing process. You don't have to go through it. But it was a sad situation. It was a sad time. But it brought a lot of things to light, and it made the band stronger. Even though, you know, the band went through a lot of heartache. A lot of people did. Champion's family.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we all feel for them. And we hope that they found peace at this point. It was just a bad situation, but as far as the band came back.
Yeah.
You know, by the end of I think that was 2013, I think. By the end of when the band came back to the Florida Classic,
right,
that band could have gone up against Ohio State and all of the rest of them, who everybody else perceives to be the best.
Wow.
And by 2015, the band was voted the top HBCU band. Well, the halftime performance at the Classic was voted the top HBCU performance for that season. So that tells you right there, the 100 came back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm going to take you from 1946 to right now. What is the biggest difference in your mind between then and now about the FAMU marching band?
The biggest difference? Well, the addition of females. The addition of females, I would say. And I had a chance to speak to Carmina Fennell, who was the first female to march on field. Norma Solomon White, back in the late 40s, was the actual first female member. But Dr. Foster would not allow women to march because of the vigorous FAMU halftime shows.
Okay.
But by 1974, Carmina Fennell showed up, and she actually marched in the band. So I think the biggest, you know, from 46 to now, I think females made the biggest impact. And obviously the band got up to 440 members at one point, which was the second largest in the country. I think those two things, you know, had the biggest impact. And
according to FAMU, when I looked on the Facebook post, your book is basically a powerful message, which basically reveals the power of God and perseverance. Let me ask you this. What's next for FAMU in your mind?
Now we talking as far as the band. What's
Yes.
next? That's a good question. You're talking about a band that has done and accomplished everything that a marching band could accomplish.
Right.
So I don't know how much higher the bar can be lifted. They can't win the Sutler again, which is the highest honor that any marching band can receive, because that award is only given once.
That's right.
To a particular marching band. So I really don't know. You know, they've been to the mountaintop. And
Yes.
They're still there.
Yes, indeed.
Been to the mountaintop, kind of came down some, but they're back.
Back. And that's how it is in life.
So exactly.
Yeah. We know that you're an author, you're a musician, you're an accomplished guy. But who is Curtis Inabinett Jr.?
An explorer. Yeah,
Mm.
I think I'm an explorer.
What are you exploring next in your life?
That's a good question. It's almost like I remember somebody asking Dr. J, well, do you have any more moves left? And his answer was, well, I never know what I'm going to do until I've done it.
Right.
I kind of feel the same way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there's still some things out there for me to do.
Sure.
I think there's some things out there for me to do politically.
Good.
I'm in my 4th term now as a councilman.
Right, Ravenel.
And I think I can do some other things in that area.
And what is it like to be you on Ravenel Town Council?
That's an interesting question, because I've gone through a lot of ebbs and flows. I'm a team player.
Yes.
I try to do what's right. When I'm wrong, I admit it.
Okay.
I ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
But I guess to be me, I always come back. I always come back.
That's amazing. Curtis Inabinett Jr., thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.